to Jesus Once You Fit. Princess Kedemiko is my name. And today I'm going to be sharing with you, with the help of the Holy Spirit, a very interesting topic I've titled Carbohydrate Confusion. You heard me right. Carbohydrate Confusion. Before we go into that, let us go into the Bible for our memory verse. Our memory verse is taken from the book of 1 Corinthians in the New Testament, chapter 6, verse 12. 1 Corinthians 6:12, yes. And I read, everything is permissible for me. That is Apostle Paul talking to the church in Corinthians, advising them on how to discipline their body. He said, everything is permissible for me, but not everything is helpful. Take note of that. You can afford everything. You can afford to get all the types of food you want to eat. But ask yourself, is it helpful to my body? Everything is permissible for me, but I will not be brought under the control of anything. Meaning, I will not allow any worldly desire control me. With the help of the Holy Spirit, I will be in control of my eating habits. The second memory verse is taken from 1 Corinthians 10, just to buttress the first one I read. 1 Corinthians 10, verse 23. Paul still speaking to the Corinthians. He says, everything is permissible, but not everything is helpful. Everything is permissible, but not everything builds up. I like that. Everything is permissible. I can afford all types of food and I can afford all types of drink, but it doesn't build my body. Does it build my body? I'm going to choose the one that builds my body. Let us meditate on that. Now, to carbohydrate confusion. Carbohydrate is a food group that has been accused wrongly. You see, people accuse carbohydrates for their fat belly. People accuse carbohydrates for their fat hips. People accuse carbohydrates for their flabby arms. People accuse carbohydrates for all sorts of degenerative diseases. Is carbohydrate really guilty? Well, if you take carbohydrates or you sue carbohydrates to court, you are going to lose that case. Because carbohydrates belongs to the energy-giving food group. You heard me right. Energy-giving food group. Carbohydrate is an important food group that makes up a balanced diet. So without carbohydrates, it is very, very difficult for anybody to function. You heard me right. Nobody can go on a carbohydrate-free diet. Don't deceive yourself. So all those talk of, no, I'm not taking carbs. No, it's carbohydrate that's making me put on weight. No, it is your own misunderstanding of carbohydrates. We need carbohydrates to function. The least muscle in our body needs carbohydrate to function. Our brain cells need carbohydrate to function. We need carbohydrate to sleep. We need carbohydrate to wake up. So you can see that it is a food group you cannot ignore. But the issue is, carbohydrate is being misunderstood. I'm going to try to break it down, the different types of carbohydrate we have. Then, by the leading of the Holy Spirit, you'll be able to choose the type of carbohydrate your body needs to function. Quickly, we have three different types of carbohydrate. Very common. I'm not going to go into the biological terms of monosaccharide, disaccharide. No, it is simply simple carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates, and then complex fibrous carbohydrates. Now, simple carbohydrates, listen, these are the sweets, the sugar. Simple carbohydrate, sucrose, lactose. Lactose is the sugar found in milk. Simple carbohydrate, honey, fructose found in fruit. These are simple carbohydrates. And from this description, this is the carbohydrate that is readily available everywhere. And this is the one people use and abuse that makes them put on weight. And the danger in this type of carbohydrate is that what you gain goes straight into the visceral fat. That's the abdomen. Simple carbohydrate. And then we have the complex carbohydrate, which is supposed to be the unrefined carbohydrate, like our brown rice, not white rice. To me, white rice is simple carbohydrate. We'll go into that. Brown rice is complex carbohydrate. Yam is complex carbohydrate. Sweet potato is complex. Now, these are unrefined, natural carbohydrate, natural food. Not yet processed, not yet refined. And then we have the complex fibrous carbohydrate, which is the vegetables. Vegetables is also carbohydrate, full of fiber. So simple carbohydrate, complex fibrous carbohydrate. Now, in a situation where you concentrate your diet on simple carbohydrates, bread, white bread is simple carbohydrate, lots of sugar. Small chops is simple carbohydrates. Soft drinks, simple carbohydrates. Pizza, simple carbohydrates. The list goes on. Ice cream, simple carbohydrates. Those are the little forces that spoil the vine. So that is the wrong type of carbohydrate that people concentrate on, that's making them put on so much weight, and they complain, carbohydrate makes me fat. Abuse of carbohydrate. Carbohydrate tells you I'm energy-giving food. When you need energy, take me. But when you do not need energy, please let me be. Or when you need a certain amount of energy, measure the certain amount of energy you eat with the quantity of food you eat. If you eat too much of me, and you do not burn me, or you do not use me, I'm going to settle as fat in your system. That's carbohydrate talking. So in a situation where you take in too much energy-giving food, too much white rice, too much white bread, too much pounded yam, too much cassava, and you do not burn it, of course, it is going to settle in your stomach as abdominal fat. It is going to settle on your hips, and it's going to settle on your arms. So beloved, carbohydrate is not guilty. Carbohydrate is very innocent. It's just the confusion about carbohydrates. If you are struggling with your weight, you have no business taking in lots of simple carbohydrates. If you are struggling with your weight, you have no business taking in refined carbohydrates, which is the white rice and the white stuff. Go for complex carbs. And mind you, quantity is very important. Calorie intake is very important. You heard what Apostle Paul said to the Corinthians. Everything is permissible, but not all is beneficial. Everything is permissible, but not all builds up to edify. A word is enough for the wise. Choose the right type of carbohydrate, and you find out that you will lose weight, stay fit, and be healthy. See you some other time. Do you have issues with your weight? You want to be fit and healthy? I introduce to you 100 key facts to longer life. This book contains African eating plan, meaning a diet based on African food. And it has low glycemic index, meaning it's going to help you balance your sugar level, and it's going to help you remove those unwanted excess weight. If you have issues with a pot belly, this book will also give you a guide. But mind you, it is only a guide. And I pray for the grace for you to use this book effectively. If you want this book, just give us a call with the numbers you see on the screen, or send us a text message, and we're able to get it across to you. Thank you.